Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I plan is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. Everyone sick, make them pay with some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and hit talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast Home. The all
truth. Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I plan is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. You know
on repeat. All right, let's try this again. Home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host, Aramis.
He forgot his name for a second, but for the keys.
A lot going on today. My name is not the only thing I forgot today. Let's say what's up to the people real quick. Lynn, what's up? Billy D, what up? Dangerous. Dangerous. I want to say dangerous, but you spelled it that way for a reason.
I think it's dangerous, yeah.
All right, we can say dangerous.
But if you take that Eros off, it's just dang. So dangerous.
I mean, Dang ain't bad.
Nah.
Dang was a good player.
Well, Dang was pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, see?
Dangerous. Dangerous.
I feel like he's getting more pub than shit.
Billy D, what up? Kev, what up? Nate, what up? Who else we got? Bones, what up?
Oh, we ain't got nobody else there. We got Laura. That's all I see.
Yeah. Oh,
SDB, what's up? That's all I see.
All right, cool.
Cool. That person right there is 0481. I don't see him.
Thank you. This is I forgot. Damaris brought this to my house. I guess he got one. He got one too, and there was a.
Oh, it's your hoodie.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about some Reason Fusion kits.
I need those too. But man, it's been a long week. And really, there are some good things to look forward to. And we're gonna get to a lot of that. But first, let me ask you, bro. Like,
no, Spin, I can't see you. But
oh yeah, thank you. Matter of fact, we gotta do this up here too. Bam. All right, that way people know what the heck.
I didn't know who we watching.
Now they know. All right. So how's your week been, bro?
The week.
I ain't seen you since Monday. So
I'm glad it's Friday.
Yeah, right.
I'm hanging on by a thread right now. I am hanging on by a thread. I'm like, man. So I sound good to y'all. I'm not gonna ask if I look good because I know I look like ish, but whatever. It's Friday. One more job, 6 more planes, then I can sleep and go to TTFA, watch the freshman team play tomorrow morning. UB tomorrow afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever's left of me after that, I'll catch some college football.
And then you'll sleep it all off on Sunday.
I can't because you forgot about the new segment we're gonna do.
Well, I mean, it's a night game tomorrow. So
I know, but we're not talking about the Bills game. We're talking about Key watches football.
He watches football.
Remember, I told you about the people were gonna tell me what game I had to watch. That's not the Bills and not the Ravens, and I got to come back and report on it.
Oh, very interesting. Okay,
yeah, so take a vote. I don't even know who's playing. I don't know who's on what team. Just send it in, and I'll watch it. Bag disasters.
I'm very interested for that.
No, not yet. But thanks for the omen here, because that's gonna happen now that Lynn asks if there any more bag disasters. But before we get started, I want everybody to do one thing for me. Put your right hand in the air. Put your left hand in the air. And say, let them cook. Let them cook. AFC Player of the Month.
Of the month, bro.
No Bones said Casey in Jacksonville. Okay? If that's what you guys want me to watch, I'll do it. Oh, wow. Dolak is. Oh, but this is the thing, Steve. Dolak is a dog, and everybody's talking about Red Murdoch. Dolak's better than him. Dolak's better than him. But I don't think, Steve, you gotta think about it like this. Bean didn't miss because they wanted Buffalo Joe to have a roster spot. And this is not just me being funny. This is not, conjecture. Obviously, I have no sources. But if you listen to other podcasts, they say, why would the Bills take Sean Dolak? We already got Buffalo Joe. There's no space for Dolak on the team because we got Buffalo Joe. See, this is the stuff I'm talking about when I say they don't want to continuously get better.
Yeah.
Iron doesn't sharpen iron. It's it's a story. Dolak has no story.
They just buy the pre-made blades, and,
Right?
and try to sharpen.
Yeah, no sharpener. I mean, Dolak's only story is that he was the walk-on player of the year his freshman year.
Mm.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I didn't know that was an award, but it is. He was the first UB player to be All-American first team. Not Khalil Mack, him.
Wow.
But we got to make sure we got space for Joe Andreessen. Anybody in the Andreessen family, I'm not disrespecting your son, your daughter, nephew, cousin, father. I don't know if you guys kids, boyfriend. Not disrespecting any of you guys, but I mean, come on, Sean Dolak is better. We know this.
Yeah. So Dolak was drafted already, right?
He was undrafted.
He's playing on the Rams now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was undrafted.
He went. Wait, what?
He did not get drafted. Undrafted. We could have just said, "Here's money. Come on."
Yeah.
He could have left in his parents' basement.
Same as old boy that came from the Titans. Your boy Charlo.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know how I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow. So let's start here. Let's start there. Man, that Dolak thing is taking me to, yeah, I didn't even, that's crazy because again, the idea is to challenge the guys that you have, not with themselves,
right,
but with other talent that's capable of taking their job from them.
Especially when you're like the number 3 or number 4 linebacker.
Yeah, like that's the.
It's tough. I mean, Andreessen showed things last year. Dolak, I'm sure, never played special teams. Why? Because he's a star in college, and they're not going to do that to him.
Right.
And that's probably what it was. We want Andreessen to be our special teams maven. We need another. What's his name? Tyler Matakevich. One of those. So.
What do you think? What do you think the issue was with Dolak not being drafted?
I think he got slept on because he didn't get invited to the combine. He didn't get invited to the Senior Bowl, so they didn't have any tape on him. I mean, you saw him play, in a Mid-American conference. You saw him with a new coach. I mean, he ripped it. His name was out there, but it just was, I guess, he didn't have the publicity that he should have had. He didn't have that big game like Khalil Mack had against Ohio State. So it kind of messed him up. But it's all good because he's gonna be fine.
So I think we saw that last night. But okay. So what were his some of his numbers and measurables at his pro day? Like, what did he run? I guess I'm just trying to understand why did people pass on him the entire draft?
He ran a sub 4.6. He's lighter, not light, but lighter. I think he's like 230.
Yeah, he looks a little bit.
Yeah, 6'1", 230-ish. Yeah. So he's not tall, but I mean, football players can play football.
Neither is Bernard. Right.
Football players can play football. Yeah. And he's more of a thumper. He's more of a prototypical middle linebacker than Bernard. He covers. I think he had 2 or 3 pick sixes last year. But he led the nation in tackles. And I think I said that on the show. I went through FCS, FBS, Division II, led them all. Yeah. All of them. He was the top dog. So, I mean, I hope he does well. I think he will do well. I think he's going to ascend the depth chart really fast. And we're going to be like, what could have been?
Roy over here trolling said, no Dolak equals no Super Bowl. I guess there's always next year. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's just poo-poo on the Bills the whole episode just to prove Roy right.
I think I want to.
Let's just why even bother trying to come up with anything positive at all? We're not going to answer any more questions. We're only going to make Roy right about what he thinks.
I'm going to answer all the questions negatively. Then I'm going to call all the podcasts I know Roy watches and tell them to do the same. And Roy's ear is going to start bleeding.
Yep.
And he's going to take a nap. He's going to wake up, have his Frosted Flakes, like I know he does every morning.
And there's gonna be piss all over him.
It's gonna be piss all over him. But yeah, where you want to start? What's up?
So let's start with this trade deadline thing because Billy D asked me about this, and I think the answer I gave him was not what anybody would want to hear, which is basically I personally don't think that there's gonna be a trade deadline move this year. I know we've seen that the last couple of years, just out of necessity, but looking at the depth that the Bills have right now, I can't see a position where they would feel they have a perceived need. I think last year at corner, last year at receiver, it was kind of undeniable that you really didn't have anybody in the locker room that was capable of taking the attention of the defense.
Yeah.
And so you went out and you got Amari Cooper. The year before that, you went and got Rasul Douglas because you clearly did not have an option after Trey White was, injured and gone at that point. And you really needed somebody to just try to, stabilize the life raft a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of the feeling behind my answer. But I have an article from ESPN here that has a few guys that might be available. One of the guys was Tyreek Hill, and
that's gonna work. That'll work.
Obviously, there's no way he can help the Bills this year. So they're not making that move.
They actually wrote Tyreek Hill in the article to the Buffalo Bills.
No. So this is not to the Buffalo Bills. This is just these 5 guys are considered to be available for anybody who wants to trade.
Got you.
Right?
Yeah, I believe that one would have been. But this is the way I look at it. Were you gonna ask me, or did you have more going on?
Well, I was gonna ask you specifically, what are your thoughts on whether or not the Bills will actually make a trade or won't they? And then if they did decide to do it, is there anybody or is there any player or any position specifically that you think they would look at as, we need to go and get somebody?
The only thing I can think of is somebody that can return kicks. Because you saw Codrington got a healthy scratch. So that tells you they don't think he can play cornerback, but he can return the ball.
You think they'll get away from Curtis Samuel?
The reason why I say that is because they like duality. They like guys that do more than one thing. Gotcha. And Curtis Samuel cannot return kicks. We didn't see anything from him on Sunday.
Yeah.
But Codrington can't play cornerback. So it's to me, I'm looking at it like this: cornerback, they drafted Harrison. They have strong. They believe in strong. They believe in Trey. They believe in Benford and all the other guys that they have at cornerbacks. I don't see a trade there unless it's a bottom of the depth move. Safety, obviously, the better safety is the Bishop, but they like Rapp, so they're not going to trade for a starter there. They got depth. They like Hamlin. They just re-signed him.
Yeah.
You got Cam Lewis back there. So I don't first and foremost, it's not gonna be somebody that's got money with them. It's gonna be somebody that's got, $1 million or whatever, vet men. Linebacker. No, I don't see linebacker. DN, no. D-line, no. Nothing on D-line, nowhere.
Right. They got too many guys on defensive line.
So I don't see anything. I don't see anything being traded for anybody of note. It might be somebody that we can try to get on practice squad or something like that. But no, they're definitely Sandman are not doing sexy Dexy because they just drafted, Deion Walker. They got Ed Oliver coming back. They got Ogunjobi. Don't forget about Ogunjobi.
God, stop, please. Stop, please.
You still got Daquan. You still got. I mean, it's okay. This is the way I look at this. The way I look at this team is the defense isn't great, but the scheme is worse. I think if you can scheme something up, you can live with this defense. I saw a stat earlier where Ogiwan Kijobi. Yep, him.
That was very creative.
But no, I think I saw a stat where, how did it go? The Bills allow the most yards in the league runs after first contact. So 4.5 yards after first contact, which is incredible. That is incredible.
That means sheer lack of tackling.
That's lack of tackling. And I preach this all the time. I always tell people, look at the tackling. They need to tackle. Fundamentals, all this IBDM. Fundamentals, tackling.
Yeah.
It's a marriage. But they don't tell you that part on the press conferences. But no, I think if you brought in another piece or two, doesn't have to be now, but you have the what do you call it? The infrastructure now. Take Rapp out, put Hancock in. If he doesn't work, put Lewis in. Lewis can play safety better than Rapp as right now.
Yeah,
you've seen it. He's a better cover safety. Bishop can now come into the box. Guess what you got? 2 functional safeties. Nice. You can go. I mean, I did some math. I did some numbers on our defensive scheme the last 2 games. You know, we almost cut our man coverage into a third. We've been playing so heavy zone. The last 2 games, we didn't blitz. We
at all?
No, we blitzed like 8 times.
Oh,
But
okay.
the previous 2 games, we blitzed, 15 times or so.
Yeah, we were like the highest percentage.
Yeah, he said, now we're not doing it. So now we're back down to 20% 26% blitzing.
So this is kind of interesting. Do you think the decrease is due to what they've seen in terms of not being able to get home with the blitzes? Because it does based on what I've seen just in watching the games in general, not even film review, it does appear in the games that the blitzes rarely get home. Like they did for sure in week 1. They got home a couple times in week 1. Week 2 against the Jets, it was more of the blitzes against the run that were like really working and really getting home. But against Tua and then against Spencer Rattler, it just didn't seem to work much at all when they did do it.
Yeah. It's hard to say because it's weird because I saw another stat. The Bills lead the league in separation to targeted players, but they're also one of the best players in best teams in yards after catch. So it's a weird stat
for the opponent. You mean?
Yeah. So giving up. So they allow the most separation. So they back off. Everything's soft.
But they don't allow run after catch.
They don't allow a lot of run after catch. Okay. So I think they're playing. But see, this is the problem with the Bills. The Bills don't understand. Yeah, right. They don't have the players to blitz, and they don't want them. But the Bills don't understand. I snuck that right in there. Yeah. The Bills don't understand that you can blitz and have a zone. There's things called zone blitzes. There's things called run blitzes. Yep. You don't have to do one thing to do the other. You can be creative here and do both. And that's what I think the Bills should do. If the Bills did that, then oh man, because we built a zone back 5. We built it. Yeah. Now we got to figure out that front 4.
The crazy part is that the Steelers did it with much slower players. Like Troy Polamalu was a great safety, but he wasn't running as fast as Cole Bishop is running. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and not saying that Troy Polamalu was super slow.
Right. I'm
just simply pointing out.
Got to make sure you say it now.
Right. I'm simply pointing out that the players nowadays are typically faster on the field than, back in Polamalu's day. So, that's all I'm basing it off of. But anyway, I think it's very interesting that the Bills have chosen to go that route because that's a great point, and that's something that I hadn't even thought about in terms of what they can do, what they can add into this defense to help now is like the zone blitz. Like I to my recollection, just right now from some of the film review that I've seen, pretty much every time that I've seen them run a blitz, it's been man coverage behind it.
Yep.
So
that's right.
It does kind of like you want to ask like why? What you know what I mean? Are you seeing anything on tape with the players specifically that would give the coaches pause in his own blitz versus playing man coverage on a blitz? Like that's the part that I just don't understand.
No, I don't. I mean, if you think about it, like I said, if you can figure out how to get to a single high, if you can move a single high, which would be Lewis or Hancock or something like that, to the high safety, you could bring Bishop in the box and not be your other linebacker if you send somebody. I mean, you got to be creative. You got to fill slots. That's the thing about about defense. You fill the slots that you left vacant. But it's like they use the same philosophy they have with the defensive line for the rest of the 7 players on the field. Just win against your man. We're not going to twist. We're not going to stunt. We're not going to do it. It's like once you line up, there's no motion at all. That's what it seems like. When they line up, they say, all right, beat us. And teams that we played so far can't. But this team coming up, they have a shot at giving us a run for our money.
Yep.
I told somebody earlier that he asked me, what is your prediction for the day? I said, I think this is going to be the best game they play. Yep. Not because I think they're going to like dog watch this team, but I think they're going to be tested. And I think you're going to see, the Ravens game, they got hit hard. They got smacked in the mouth and they had to play fight and come back. But I think this game from end to end will be the best game that they play. Kev said, we also have to look at the type of coaching the Bills don't have big name coaches on the defensive side. Everybody looks like they are in training or they recently got fired. I think that could be a good and bad thing. because if they look like they're in training, normally those are young guys that like, let's try it. I want to do it. Let's do it.
Mhm.
And there's something holding them back, and I'm not going to go into what that probably is, but if you give them free reign, think about it like this: Josh Allen with McDermott is the opposite of EJ Manuel with Marone.
Say that one more time.
Josh Allen with McDermott is the opposite of EJ Manuel with Marone. Josh Allen made some bad throws. Josh Allen did some things that would have got yanked. He probably would have. We've been sitting here, we're talking about him on the trade block right now if it was Marone as a coach. But the same coach that let Josh Allen figure it out on the field is the same coach that won't let defensive coordinators figure it out on the field, won't let offensive coordinators figure it out on the field. And that's what we need to see change. We got to see, if you're going to get young players, you got to let them mess up. Obviously not big snafus where they just look like they're not interested and they're not trying, they don't care.
Yeah.
But they got to be able to go out there and say, you know what? I bid on it because this is what I saw. And have the confidence for the coach to coach them up and say, okay, next time that happens, this is what I want you to do, or whatever the case may be.
So right now, the Patriots are 22nd in the league in pass defense.
20. Well, next gen stats have them like 26, I think. They're
okay.
They're like 6th in run defense. So
yeah,
I had in my notes. I think this is going to be the day that Josh Allen's everybody is going to be tested, because they're giving up 246 yards a game. Josh Allen's be able to hit at least 230. But in doing so, you got Khalil Shakir out there. You got Keon Coleman out there. You got Dalton Kincaid out there. I would play Khalil Shakir if I have him on my fantasy team. Roy. And I think this will be the game that has people that the haters come out and say, I told you James Cook is not good. He was playing against bad defense, because this defense is good against the run. Milton Williams is no slouch. Barmore is no slouch.
Yeah.
Did you guys forget about Robert Spillane? No slouch.
Yep.
These are good players. So, I mean, our offensive line is by PFF rated. Expensive. Don't play Coleman. But yeah, I mean, by standards, our offensive line should be able to take care of those guys. But if they can't, and Cook can't find a hole, I don't want to hear no.
Yeah. So the thing that we have to keep in mind going against the Patriots defense, and you brought this out. I don't know if you still have the numbers up in front of you, but thank you. The yards before contact for the Bills right now. Do you have that readily available?
Yeah, I can get it.
So I think that's the thing that we need to keep in mind every single time we think about how successful this team is going to be against the defense. And there's ways to offset that, but again, the ways that you're going to offset yards before contact come with a lot of stuff that you have to do pre-snap and a lot of stuff that you have to do after the snap, just to give Cook a significant amount of more space. And that's where I think the complications come in for the Bills, because so much of what they do is designed around, quick attacks. You know what I mean? Death by 1,000 cuts, getting the ball out before you can get to Josh. The zone run plays, you're trying to penetrate the defense before they can react. Right. That's why when you snap the ball see, this is the other thing too, with zone runs. Typically the offensive line is able to attack faster and more efficiently than they are with a power run scheme, because with a power run scheme, you have your pin and pull, wham blocks, you got all different types of things that are happening with the offensive line that are designed to redirect and to some degree, trick the defensive lineman into going to a specific place where they end up getting blocked, right? So there's some level of access that you give to certain defensive linemen that cause them to fall into trap blocks. That's why they call them trap blocks. Mm-hmm. So that particular, the power run scheme versus the zone run scheme, if you're the Bills and you want to have as much efficiency available as you can, especially with a running back like James Cook, the zone run scheme is the way you got to go. Because at that point, it's snap ball, get to the guy in front of you. Snap ball, get to this space and block in this area. It's more about getting to a space in the zone run scheme than it is focusing on specific positions, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm saying all that to say, this isn't an easy fix for the Buffalo Bills. right? It's not something that will be able to, when we get to the playoffs, we'll just run better.
Right.
It
don't work that way.
Right. So I'm not saying that the run game is not going to be good. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if we look at this team after the game against the Patriots on Sunday and the run game did not look great, don't panic.
Yeah.
Don't panic. That you cannot. It's just a good run defense, right?
Yeah, the Bills right now are 1.6 yards before contact.
1.6?
1.6. You contacted right at the line, pretty much.
And some.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's nuts. And again, the part that makes that interesting is it's a zone run scheme primarily. I know they do multiple things, but most of what Cook does well is his own run scheme. So if you're getting beat running a scheme that you're supposed to be able to have the advantage in, okay. Let me say this. I think the Bills are executing what they're executing with the players that they have at a high level. Right? I do think that if the Bills had better players, which is possible, right? Because I don't think anybody can say that the offensive line players that we have are the best in the NFL at their respective positions, right?
Mm-hmm.
We may be able to get to a place where we can say, Dawkins is top 10. Spencer Brown might be top 15 right now. He might even be top 10. Saibo might be, in that top 20 to 25 range. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We might be able to get to that point, but if that's the case, what does that mean? It still means that there's room for improvement,
yep.
Right? And so I don't want people to take what we're saying, because I just had a back and forth with Vu. Remember Vu?
Oh,
I had a back and forth with Vu on IG earlier today, and he's like, I can't watch you guys. You're too negative. You're talking bad about my coach and my GM.
Then don't. I don't really care. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm so tired of people telling me that. Just go. Just go. I love everybody that's here, but go. You don't need to tell me you're not going to be here. You don't need to tell. I'm not going to cry about it. I got other things to do. I couldn't care less. Just go.
You know what that reminded me of?
Huh.
You ever see those videos of the that dude with the big old mustache that he's pretending to be like a retail worker or something like that?
Yeah.
And he'll say whatever the customer's complaint is. Well, fine, leave then. I don't care. You think this is my store?
Right.
I don't own this store. I just work here.
I mean, you just said it. You're a coach and you're a GM. You go ahead and watch Sal Capaccio. See ya. And I hope I see you in all the comments on there too. Love it up. Hug it up.
Right. Nate said Keys is in the mood tonight.
I just been saying what I've been thinking. I mean, what is it? What is that telling you? Oh boy.
I love it.
Try to do you know what? You do a podcast. I'll watch it and tell you how I feel about it.
Yeah.
How about that?
You know what's interesting is, on the podcasts that are talking all this good stuff about the Bills, mm-hmm. right? There's people that pop in there like, it's not all roses and pound cake. Like,
what are y'all watching?
Right? Are we seeing the same thing? You know what I'm saying? So I guess the point here is there's always going to be differing opinions on what we see. I'm convinced now, after doing this show for 2 years, there is not gonna. Yeah, I know that's why you're really here, Roy. You see what he said?
Yeah. Rick.
That's right. I think at this point it's just kind of we just understand that they're gonna think the way they think. We're gonna think the way we think. There's two sides to every coin. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's great that when people don't agree, but don't just say I can't watch you guys. Well, contribute to the conversation.
I did that, and I told him, and this is this is why I do it. Cause I said, well, you're more than welcome to come on live on the show. Like we offer that to our members. You know what I mean? It's just $1.99 a month. It really don't cost you anything.
And come on through.
You know what I'm saying? And you can come on live, you know, if we can schedule you in and fit you in there, we'll get you in there. No problem. And then you can say everything you got to say.
They won't, though. Sitting here in our face, they won't.
Well, that's kind of the point, because as soon as I said that, he just liked the comment.
Yeah. I mean,
he didn't,
because what it is, you sit here, and I'm not gonna go off of it, but you sit here and you don't understand the work that goes into this show. You don't understand the numbers and the footage and the clips that we ingest, the articles we read to try to formulate something to compact it and let everybody know what the Cliff Notes version of everything is. And that's what I like doing about the show is doing all that stuff and putting the Cliff Notes together so you guys don't have to do it.
Right.
You know, and if you watch something I don't see, maybe you can bring it back to me. You know, I would love to have other podcasters invite them on, you know, comment on our show. We comment on their show. That's cool. But, you know, at this point in time, it's like we did the show because the voice of the people that really care to know what's going on the field and care to peel back the layers and look a little deeper, they had no forum.
Right.
So that's what this is.
You know what else too? And this triggered the thought. ATL, thank you. He says, I rather watch this podcast than others. They sound so vanilla. When I first had the idea to maybe do a podcast, I started watching a bunch of other content creators that had Buffalo Bills podcasts. And a lot of it was, the Bills statistics, and using that as a foundation to say how good the Bills are doing and how well they should do in the upcoming game. And it's nice to hear how good and how fun and how likable you are. It's always nice to hear that.
Sure.
People love that, but it's not interesting to listen to for an hour or 2 hours or however.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to get that point off as, the Bills are good here, they should be able to do this, and here's why. Okay, good. Now move on. Now what? What else? Right? And that's what robs people, I think, of a stimulating conversation. Is not that it has to be negative and not that it has to be argumentative, because we don't argue at all on this show, me and you know what I'm saying? So the idea is to and what I said on IG was, this is all food for thought.
Right.
If we come up with something that triggers you in a way that you need to, challenge us or question, why are you saying that? Like, what do you see in this making you say, good question, let's go into it. And
that's what I'm trying to get
now,
to. Let's do it.
Exactly. Now, like you said, we're peeling layers back. We're getting to places that people don't typically think to get to, because what? Because we've done the investigations. And this is the main point of that I wanted to get to from this comment.
Yeah.
When we first started this show, and I first started developing the contacts that I have with people on the Bills and people that have worked there and people that still work there, the idea was to try and just learn whatever there was to learn. There wasn't I think the Bills are doing this wrong, let me see if I can prove, you know what I'm saying? So as I'm getting this information and putting out these reports in year one of our show, the expectation was there's probably going to be some shock. There might be people that don't believe us. That was probably the biggest thing. Like, nobody's probably going to believe,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because who the hell am I?
Right.
You know what I'm
These
saying?
Clowns. Hey, I'll be that. But
right.
where have we been so wrong so far?
Exactly. And so that mindset, even though I was, I wouldn't say worried, but even though there was concern about, not being believed, I still felt like people needed to know this stuff. Right. So I reported. Okay, are people really listening? Are they not? It doesn't matter. I just love doing what we're doing. But then we get to the Max Hairston deal, right? And this is kind of where it was like, I just felt like I needed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because first and foremost, I knew that I was probably getting this information before anybody else. And everybody wanted to know what the heck was going on, including me, right? So as soon as I found out, I was like, I thought about it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, man, should I and I started looking at what Ian Rappaport was saying and some of the other people were reporting, nobody really had anything solid at all.
He was like, no.
Right. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just break it. I, put it out there. You ain't got a real sources. Shut up.
You're a dummy.
Right.
This clown.
You know what I'm saying? You still got time to take that down. Like
I know.
Right. So again, I don't want to rehash all this stuff, but I guess the point I'm trying to get to is it's okay to just have a conversation. Mm-hmm. And when we think about the Bills, we don't think about the Bills from a fan perspective. We think about the Bills from an analytical perspective. Mm-hmm. And that's because we've done the investigation. So I might have to like clip this and put this out, but you can't think of what we do here as Bills fan talk.
Right.
Like this is not a Bills fan talk show. If you want to analyze the NFL, if you want to analyze what other teams are doing, we talk about that stuff a lot. Mm-hmm. We talk about how it relates to the Bills a lot, right? Originally, when we wanted to do this show, I came to you and I was like, let's just do a football podcast, right?
Like, what?
you was like, yeah, I only watch the Bills, dude.
You're like, good enough. You want to do it or not?
That's right. I just wanted to start, right? Mm-hmm. But again, I'm not going to issue a formal apology for anything that we've done on this show.
No.
Aside from my my putting the chair on the show without his permission and all that stuff. So
I got you.
But
chair's been covered.
Right.
We settled off camera. We're all set.
So real quick, I'll give you a few players.
These comments are funny, but go ahead.
What they saying?
It was. I mean, they're just listing out who they don't want to listen to. And they're like, man, y'all really, you know what? And stuff like that. Honestly, stuff like that makes me look at our viewership, and I'm like, I'm okay, because everybody here rocks with you.
Yeah.
Everybody here, even Spin has a Hairston. Is he in the 21 day window? No, they didn't open it. Not yet.
For who?
Hairston.
Oh, no. They probably won't.
They're probably not.
They probably won't. No, I mean, for Sean to call that injury unique, I think part of I know. Hey, hold on. Do that look again. Right. So for Sean to call it the injury unique, and then also kind of talk about what did he say? He said for the most part, Max Hairston is doing all the things he needs to do.
Right.
Again, the thought process that I have, and you can tell me if you agree with this or not. Thought process I have is this is a perfect opportunity for the Bills to stash him until next year. He's not picking up the playbook as fast as he should. This is a perfect opportunity for the Bills to say, you know what, just sit, learn the playbook, get familiar with it. On top of that, it gives you additional time to heal, so that if for some reason you needed to come back this year, you're more than 100% ready to go. Yeah. And if you do come back as a result of injury, you're coming back as a hero, not as somebody who's been struggling to get the playbook and it's taken you this long to get here.
Right. I think with the two suspensions coming back in 2 weeks, that makes perfect sense. They don't have to worry about a body. If they keep it clear, you got Jordan Phillips, so they call up. They got Zion Lowe, they can't call up anymore, I don't believe. But yeah, I mean, you can stash guys back on the practice squad or whatever the case may be, but they don't want to add more people to the mix when they got, especially Hoyt coming back. I don't know why they really care about Ogunjobi. I really don't.
Well, 10 million reasons why.
Well, yeah, that's a good series. 13 reasons why, or whatever that show was back in the day.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're right. Dorian Strong, unless he doesn't play anymore for whatever reason. But he's ahead of them in the pecking order right now too. So yeah, I think you're right on target with that one.
Yep. I'm not sure where this came from. Nate says Spin starting to make sense. Might just have to retire the voice. Nah, not yet. Spin has definitely come around. He's definitely come around. He's starting to make a lot more sense recently, but not yet. What else do we have here? Billy D says they should say my bad on the draft. Yeah. I mean, the back half of the draft, aside from TJ Sanders, they They got him all right. It seems like they got him all right. I mean, we're not gonna see Chase Lunt until next year unless we absolutely have to due to injury. But
I'm really intrigued in seeing TJ Sanders play a 5 tech. I really am. I want to see him play 5. Why not? You can't play the 3. I mean, get him on the field. Play the 5. I just want to see it. Watch it work. That's why they won't do it. Watch it work.
You're really sticking to this bit. You really
watch it work. And they won't do it. Because they gotta have Rousseau and Bosa and
the gosh darn best 1 tech in the world playing 5 tech because he can't play 3 tech. He can't stop the run to save his life right now, bro.
Sanders can't. I mean, he's a 2nd round draft. You got to get him on the field. You got Deion Walker playing over him. You got Daquan Jones. You got Ed Oliver coming back. It's a loaded backfield. Everybody poo-pooing on Rousseau right now.
Oh man,
what's the worst could happen? 6'4", 295, 6'4", 290. That's the defensive end.
Oh my gosh.
No,
you're right. You're right. What I kind of wish would happen is, and I think this would completely change the game.
Mm-hmm.
This would completely change the game if the Bills switch to a 3-4 next year. Look at that face. Look at that face. if they switch to a 3-4 next year and Deion Walker went and just worked on his run stuffing, and you put Deion Walker on one side as your defensive tackle, and then you've got Sanders as your DN, and then you go find yourself a nose tackle. Play with those boys. Now you got boys that can penetrate, like seriously penetrate on passing downs.
Mm-hmm.
You got your nose tackle, and then go get some linebackers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go get some real linebackers in this joint. That would be interesting to see. And here's the thing. I'm not saying do this because what we're doing isn't working at all. What we're doing works great in the regular season, right? Because we win games with it. You have to say that because they're winning games with this defense. But what we're seeing in the playoffs and what the stats show is the reason you lose in the playoffs is because your defense is letting you down. What did you see that you liked?
I was trying to hold it together so bad.
Dan Vapes, Sellout Sal, Homer at Sunny Reds, Timu Stephen A, Beta DVOA Stat Lover, Drunk at Rockpile. There are a lot of good sounding liars in these creator spaces. Friends, frenemies, muggles.
I didn't see that part. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. And the thing is, I know
muggles, bro.
Huh?
He called them muggles.
Oh no, I know who it is. It's somebody they enter their show with that every week.
Really?
Yeah. I know. The only one I don't know who is Stephen A, the Timu Stephen A. I think I know who it is, but I'm not sure.
There's a Timu Stephen A?
He said Timu Stephen A.
You need to show me all these people. Dan Vapes I know, Sellout Sal I get. Yep. Homer at Sunny Reds, I don't know who that is.
That's Talking Buffalo.
Okay. Beta DVOA Stat Lover.
That's got to be somebody on. Wait, that's got to be. Is that Joe Marino?
Oh yeah, probably.
Drunk at Rock Power. That's just the Rock Power report. That's the one guy with the glasses.
Okay.
Friends, frenemies, muggles. I'll give you a hint. He's on cover 1.
Oh.
Yeah, that's him.
All right. All right. Nate says, notice something on tape this week. Groot has no punch coming off the line anymore.
Okay, this is okay. I actually did a big write-up on Groot because this is my thing. I'm gonna try this again. I don't need apologies for Groot. I don't need anybody to understand, but this okay. I asked what was it? What did you say? I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna kill all my wannabe relations. Homer at Sunny Red. I asked him, because he was going ballistic on Russo on Sunday night, and then again Monday. I'm like,
really?
I'm like, so do you think maybe the way that they use him is different because they brought him at the 5 technique as opposed to the 9 that they used him almost prominently last year? Do you think that maybe they're using him to stack up for the interior that they said wants to be the pass rush this year? Do you think maybe because they blitz more from the backside, he doesn't have the same responsibility? And furthermore, let me
playing a whole different side of the field this year for the first time.
He's doing a lot of stuff different. It's a lot of nuances, and I'm not making excuses for him. Now, this is where I went. I'm about to read this. I said, this is what got me. I was eating this after I got from the airport. I was eating my food, just watching the episode of Talking Buffalo. And I put my fork down. I said, wait, where's my phone? I got to write this down. He said, he's paid to be a pass rusher. We don't pay him as an edge setter. Since when? Since when is Gregory Trudeau Rousseau?
Trudeau.
Yep. When has he ever been an edge rusher? When?
In college.
Was he?
I mean,
he was a coverage sack artist. I wish Tommy was here because Tommy he's not Bane, and even Jalen Phillips was a better edge rusher than Greg Rousseau. Greg Rousseau had 15 sacks, but that's not the point. He never took over a game ever. I never saw him say, "Oh snap, who's that guy? Got to block him." I've seen Aaron Donald play. I've seen guys firsthand take over games. Antonio Brown. I've seen him in person. Khalil Mack, Sean Dolak. Hi, Dolak family. I've seen this in. And I'm saying, when. Last year he got the bag. I thought about it. How many sacks did he have last year?
8, right?
8. How many sacks did he have in week 1?
3.
How many weeks did there in the season?
17.
So I looked this up.
Okay.
So Greg Rousseau, 1 game against the Cardinals, 3 sacks. 2 games he had half a sack. So that tells you in 4 games, he had a full sack.
Right.
1. 16 tackles for loss last year, right? He had 3 games with 3 tackles for loss. So that's 9 right there. He had 5 games with 2 or less tackles, period. He had 17 hits last year. He has none this year. That's fine. But that could be contributed to them blitzing more, and he's not asked to get to the quarterback in the same fashion. Case in point, they got him at the 5 tech, Teacher Sanders. And he's on pace to be close to his Hurries number last year, which I know you love so much. But the Bills are blitzing twice as much as they did last year until the last 2 games. And I mean, also, what about the quarterbacks we played? What are their release times? Do you think about that as well? Tua. Yeah. Spencer Rattler, Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, Drake May. Drake May is another guy that gets rid of the ball pretty quickly. What do you think they're going to do? I mean, what do we think? I mean, of course you want more, but when you look at where he's lined up, how he's lined up, what is he doing? We're talking about Joey Bosa, who's getting washed out every time we have to defend the run. Horrible against the run, great against the pass. I'm not going to poo-poo on Bosa, but we got to know what we are. Yeah. We got to know when it's a run set, we got to figure that side out.
Right.
Rousseau's side, usually he sets the edge and he forces the back inside, and then they run up in the middle for 23 yards. But I mean, that to me is like, okay, Rousseau is he got drafted on traits. They told us that. 6'6", 265, ran a 4.6. 30-inch vertical. What did Chris Brown say? What did Steve Tasker say? Chad, I'll wait. What did they say on their show when we drafted him? You see the baseball mitts on that guy? It blocks the sun out. Where's Bean's head? I remember. Where's Bean's head? His hand is blocking his whole face. He's got the longest arms known to man. What about anybody say, wow, this guy is a game wrecker? Did anybody say that game against such and such, that game against Florida State, that game against whoever?
Right.
He took it over. No, because it didn't happen. So when people say Groot regressed, no, Groot did not regress. Groot is he's a volume player. He has big game, then he disappears.
Yep. This
is what he is. So when I might have misstated it on Lynn said, oh ish, I called him Trudeau. But the thing is, we're Steve, that's what I thought it was. That's exactly what I thought it was. But yeah, no, he's on Beto D. Okay, I know who that is too.
Okay.
Yep, I know who it is. But no, if you don't like the way he's playing, This is why I didn't like it when they drafted. We didn't have a show, but you remember. I was like,
yeah, you hated it.
For what? I was like, why? And then we
needed a pass rusher.
Right. That didn't do that. Then we got bashing behind that. Doesn't let it be less.
Yeah.
And like, what the hell are you guys? What are you giving me? And that's when you were like, you want to do a show? I'm like, yes, it's time. Yes, it's time.
Yes, we need to.
Because you asked me, and I was like, nah, I ain't got no time. Then you asked me like another year or so. I was like, I got things I can get off my chest. But it's like it's crazy. It's the people. You give him a nickname that's synonymous with a dude from Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's like, oh man, he's a fan favorite.
Yeah, just because he looks like him.
Yeah,
not even because he's effective like him, takes up a lot of space. None of that. Nope. No, just because he looks like him.
Nope.
That's it.
That's it. And that drives me nuts. And that's the thing about Rousseau. 14 paid defensive end. Next year he's going to be like 28th or whatever the case may be. He is what he is. And that's all he is. And it's not a bad thing, but you need someone on the other side to actually do what he doesn't do, which I've said a time or two before. Yeah. Complimentary football. McDermott says all the time, where is it? And anybody that says, I am Groot, yes. Well, it can mean whatever you want it to mean. But if you're a Bean fan, you want to defend them and start calling you Beanhead. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You're just a Beanhead. You're a lover of bean, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that and 4 years, we got him for 4 years. Make it work, because he's not terrible. He's just not going to do what people think he's going to do. And it upset me when you go on a podcast and you just rant and rage about this thing that this guy's never been. And the numbers bear it out. This tape bears it out. He's never beat nobody off the edge like one step and just got he don't get little.
Like it's simple though. Let's compare Greg Rousseau and the rhetoric around him and Deion Walker and the rhetoric around him. Because both guys are big. Both guys long arms. Both guys very athletic for their size, right? Everybody this year was saying a lot of the same things about Deion Walker. Man, this dude can move. I didn't think a guy that size can move like that. All of the same stuff we heard about Groot, right? But the difference is you and I are sitting here talking about, man, the quick penetration, the plays that he's making that are helping the Bills like really make a difference and win games. You know what I'm saying? That play against the Dolphins, people look at that like, yo, that's a game-breaking play. He broke the game at that moment and caused that turnover. And because of that, we ended up winning the game. You know what I'm saying? What are we looking at as Greg Rousseau's moment that everybody realized this dude might be a game breaker? I can't think of one. Right. Maybe a game against the Patriots where Greg Rousseau batted down a pass.
Right. He's got 2 of those this year. Yeah.
Right. But again, if it was at a JJ Watt level where he like had 50 batted passes, the whole season,
him a tumble finger wag and all that, that'd be great.
If he was doing it JJ Watt style, then okay. If you're not getting there, at least the ball's not getting past you. You're helping the secondary out a lot. But it's none of that. You're not getting any of that. But instead of poo-pooing on Rousseau, let's just keep it completely logical. He's not making the plays he hasn't made the plays in his first few games like we've seen Deion Walker do consistently, right? And a lot of what Deion Walker is doing is based off pure athleticism for him. His skill set allows him, and his talent level allows him to just shift guys right off with ease and create penetration on run plays, even though that might not be the design of the defensive play call. That's an aspect of his game that's added onto this team that's made it hard for teams to run against us.
Right.
And that was an improvement that was of dire need for this team. We needed to improve the run defense. And we got 2 guys that can penetrate at that clip, right? So the thing here that I think we have to pay attention to, and I know we've kind of gone over this before, but this is part of the reason why I talked about, switching the defense to a 3-4 is you're forced to have a run stuffer in the middle in a 3-4 defense. You just cannot function the way the Bills have functioned for the last 10 years, almost 9, without a guy in the middle that can take up 2 blockers every single down, right? Right. So if you were to switch the defense over, I think that would greatly help your run defense because it would be a byproduct of the formation change that cannot be denied. I'll put it like that because Sean could easily say, well, you got TJ Sanders and Deion Walker, penetrating the run this year. That's an improvement. Like you can't argue with that, right? And that justifies Sean's statement of, well, the run game is getting better because he said that in the press conference. We're getting better every week. Oh, okay, but you're still not showing me something that leads me to believe that in the playoffs you'll be able to just flip a switch and all of a sudden, guys can only run for 2.5 yards against you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'd be fine with them being middle of the pack. I'd be fine with even, just even if you still get gashed, but at least you put up some kind of front. I don't want to feel like every running back, Kendre Miller, who I don't even know who the hell that is, gets off and breaks 7 tackles and way to a touchdown. I don't even. It's not Saquon Barkley, but he looked like Saquon on that play.
Right.
I'm like, who is this dude? And should I get him on fantasy squad? I don't know. But Spence said, should we put Landon Jackson on the field or Maxwell Harrison first, round 1 versus round 3? I think I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think
where
you didn't scroll back
here?
up a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who gets on the field first? Probably Landon Jackson. I mean, again, the corners that are on the field are the corners that I think Sean always envisioned having on the field at that point in time, right? So I don't think there's a necessity right now for either guy. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I really do think it's probably beneficial for both if they don't play this year. Because a big part of Landon Jackson needs more tools in the tool bag.
I could see him playing first only because Solomon hasn't done anything yet. That's the only thing I can see with him. But then Hoyt's coming back. So that's the gotcha. Hoyt's going to come back. So what do you do with Solomon? Solomon wasn't going to get a jersey anyway when Hoyt comes back. I don't think. Yeah. So, I mean, who are you taking off the field? And that's not me being Sal asking you to answer obvious stuff. This is me saying I don't know who you would take off the field if you take Landon Jackson and place him on the field at any point in time.
Yeah. Kev says, or just have the media fans like a laser beam on why Sean insists on his defensive coordinators running just his scheme. Well, that's tough because Sean got into his position in the era where a lot of teams were trying to find ways to copy what the Patriots were doing, right? So when coaches were taking jobs, the political aspect of the negotiations were surrounded around how much power do I have as a head coach, right? And that was at the feet of, or at the end of the era of GMs running everything, right? And so coaches were essentially trying to take their power back to say, well, if you want me to run this team and run these plays and use players that I wouldn't put in my scheme because my GM thinks he knows better than I do, then you can keep your job. But if you're willing to allow me to pick the players that I want to cook with, let me pick my own ingredients basically, then sure, I'll take the job, right? So when Sean got the job, that was one of the contingents. He wanted to run it, right? I don't doubt for 1 second that was not a consideration of Sean McDermott, right? Sean McVay had the same power. Kyle Shanahan had the same power. Even though they had GMs, there wasn't this dynamic of, we already have a GM. You're going to come in and do what he says, right? Kyle Shanahan was hired before John Lynch for the 49ers. So that's what I mean. Sean McDermott was hired before Brandon Beane, right? So the dynamic of who's choosing the ingredients changed.
Right.
So all of that is to say, I do think the deal with Sean wanting everybody to run his scheme is surrounded around the idea of if I'm going to go down, if I'm going to go down with the ship, I'm going to go down with the ship my way. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna run this thing, if I'm gonna get fired for doing my job, then I'm gonna do my job the way I want to do it. Which, okay, it's honorable, but ask Dayball how he feels at the end of the season after he gets fired.
Yeah.
Right. Ask whoever else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the idea is to try and do more of what works, not necessarily what you believe wins. And I think that's the issue that I take with what we've seen over the last 9 years is it's more about Sean's vision than it is doing what it takes to win. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think every year, 4th round pick outshines the first 3 picks. What's new? Epinesa, Groot, Cody Ford, Boogie Basham, Elam. I won't say Coleman just yet. I know you will. I'm not going to dispute you, but Coleman and Bishop, who's the elite blue chip we drafted with our first 3 picks? There isn't one. There isn't one. I mean, everybody's going to say Josh, but that was almost 10 years ago now. So do it again. I've been saying, do it again. Do it again. Give me another one.
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say this because I based on what I'm seeing, I truly believe that we're seeing Deion Walker become the Josh Allen of the defense. And to be perfectly honest, that is a huge hope for me. And at the same time, it's probably the most perfect position for what this defense needs for that to happen.
Yeah, he excites me because he was playing next to Jordan Phillips, which I don't even know why. That didn't excite me at all. But you can see him pointing out stuff and telling him, come over, I want you right here. He's trying to bet this. I want you here. I need you right there. Come here. And I'm like, like that rock clap from Rudy. Yeah. But I mean, we have that for at least 4 more years.
Yeah.
Or 3 more years after this. And and if TJ Sanders can do something, that's something that Ed Oliver. I want to see Ed Oliver next to Deion Walker.
Yes.
That's gonna be fun.
Yes.
And maybe, just maybe, that little marriage right there will help Groot, will help Bosa.
Yeah.
Maybe a run defense is still gonna suffer because neither one of them are good against the run. Right. We know this.
Right.
And don't let the Ravens game fool you. Whatever that was what it was, but as Nate calls him, Mr. Ed, he for everything he is, he's just not big enough to hold him against the run.
Lynn says, "Don't look for a diamond in the rough. Look for diamonds at the jewelry store." I love that.
That's
quote.
exactly what he does.
Yeah. Wait, that's who?
Wait, go ahead.
You think that's what who does?
Bean.
He looks for diamonds at the jewelry store.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think he looks for diamonds in the rough.
No, see what this is saying is he's going to buy them and not try to find them, not try to mine them himself. He just goes somewhere that already did it and just pay for it. So Joey Bosa, I bought that diamond because I can't find it. I couldn't get it myself, so I bought it.
I mean, is Bosa really a diamond though? See,
okay, ask Bill's Mafia that, and watch your neck when you do it.
That's exactly why I won't ask them
that when you do it.
That's exactly why I won't do it. But okay, so I guess, and I completely understand how you see it.
How'd you see it?
Well, I think for me, when I'm thinking diamond, I'm thinking Josh Allen level, right?
Okay.
So the Micah Parsonses of the world, the Josh Allens of the world, the Nick Bosas, you know what I'm saying? Like diamond to me is like elite of the NFL, right? So the thought
thing got you. Wasn't a blasphemy.
I'm simply saying I don't think Bosa right now has re-solidified his status as a diamond in the league. I think he's getting there, right? With more consistency. I think if he plays the same way throughout the rest of the season, he'll be back there, right? But I think in terms of his reputation right now, there's still a large contingent of analysts and people in national media that are still looking at Bosa like, okay, the start is great, but we've seen this before, right? But again, if Bosa can finish the season the same way that he's playing now and come out healthy and put up 10 plus sacks, we're going to talk about Bosa like Brandon Beane did his damn thing, getting, Bosa in the door.
Yeah,
right.
I think Cato agrees with your take. So Len, what did you mean by that? Did you mean what I said, what A said? I mean, it's not right or wrong. That's just how I took it. So I just want to clarify how you meant that when you wrote it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Steve says it's not a mystery why this roster is defined by Josh doing more with less. Bean is why we have less, because he misses every year on the first 3, and his free agents are mostly Curtis Samuels. I like that now. That's going to become a thing. We label guys that don't work out as free agents Curtis Samuels. Nate says Big Bear is getting better against the run. Yeah, for sure.
That remains to be seen. Because what I've noticed with him is he's really good against pass set runs. So against the draw. I still haven't seen him really hold the fort against the double team, the down block double team. I've seen him get washed out a lot with that. So I think he still needs to get better with that. But yeah, he's definitely a force, and especially when teams are trying to run draws on us, which is what they would do when we're a pass rush team.
Yeah,
we don't. They know we're not going to defend the run, so they like, let's let them in and run past them. So for those kind of things, yes, you're right. You're 100% right.
Thank you for clarifying that, Steve. I think that is the perfect way to say it. It says Bosa is a diamond. It's not just a VVS one. There's levels to diamond, bro. Like, I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. That's the way that we should be looking at the tiers of players, because Bosa is the best pass rusher we have on the team right now. And then you have Greg Rousseau, who's on I would say a lesser level. He's not a terrible pass rusher, but he's not at the level of a Joey Bosa.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're looking at Joey Bosa, we could say that Joey Bosa is not on the level of a Myles Garrett right now. You know what I'm saying? So there's tiers to it.
He's not even Von Miller.
Who, Bosa?
Yeah, pass rusher.
As a well, I'm not just looking at the technique or the speed. I'm looking at the production as well, right? The impact on the game. So to me, I'll put it like this. It doesn't matter what the guy looks like in terms of his technique or you know, whatever. It could be Javon Solomon going out there and getting 16 sacks in a season. If he does it with the Dwight Freeney spin, which nobody would ever teach a defensive lineman to do, I'll take that in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just what works. So when I look at Bosa, I'm saying it doesn't matter if he looks stiff doing it. He's still he's affecting the play. He's affecting, you know, his opponent, and he's affecting, you know, the quarterback.
Yeah, I think with Bosa, his biggest claim to fame, and it's not a knock on him, is that he has forced fumbles in the first 4 games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, outside of that, 2 sacks, fine. He's not good in the run game. So, you know, it's like there's levels to it, like you said. And I think for me, I'm looking for that guy that gets there consistently and can do it different ways, because he's just not. He's not. You know, that's just the way I look at it.
Okay, so quick question before we move on to the topic of the episode. If let's extrapolate Bosa's numbers, right? He's got 2 sacks so far, 4 forced fumbles, right? And that's in the first 4 games of the season, right? So let's extrapolate that over 17 weeks. So that would mean he ends up with 16 forced fumbles and what? 8 sacks?
8 sacks, yeah. And the record for forced, I just want to put out, the record is 10.
Up for forced fumbles?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see him get like
break the record for forced fumbles.
Whoa!
Whoa! Would you take 16 forced fumbles and 8 sacks as a successful season? You
yeah. Yes, I would. 100% of the time. Well, yo, we had a dude had 16 forced fumbles, fam. FO sacks. We had 4. Look at all the forced fumbles. Ball was just rolling everywhere. We was on it. Just, hey, man, hey.
Yo, if Bosa did that, we coming out with a T-shirt that says "FO sacks."
Yep.
Straight up. Yep. I promise you that will be on deck the second he breaks that record.
And that weird, I'm like, yes.
All right. So here's the topic of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this would kind of, you know, make for somewhat interesting conversation about a game that otherwise feels nondescript, right? Even though, you know, you and I are saying the same thing in terms of this is probably going to be the second best competition the Bills face all season.
Oh, yeah.
To this point, I mean, to this point, it's not really one of those games that's like, oh, there's all different types of things to break down about this game and angles and stuff like that. I mean, the Patriots have been up and down. The Bills have you know, been falling into wins for the most part. And a win is a win. I get it, but still. So that leaves me with this question, right? If the Bills perform the same way that they have in the first 4 weeks, and they win while scoring 30 points, and they win by 10 to 12 points, basically the same way that they have for the last 3 weeks, is this going to be something that's unexpected from the Bills, or is this something that is unacceptable from the Bills after 5 weeks of the season?
That's tough. I think if you say, okay, so they win by 10 and they perform pretty much like they did the rest of the season. If the offense can perform on cruise control like they've been performing, that says something. But their defense isn't that great. I mean, like I think somebody here said their linebackers can't cover. We know that. That's why they're bad against the pass, but they're good against the run.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think we chew them up and spit them out in the air. I think Josh has his best game so far against this team. Defensively, you got a rookie who doesn't have any breakaway plays yet. You got You got Ramondre Stevenson. We've seen him 3-4 years now. Gibson is a change of pace back. I can tell you right now, Stephon Diggs, he's going to go for blood. He's going to go for blood. He wants it bad in Buffalo. It's the first time he's coming back to Buffalo.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about how he gave it away and this, that, and third, how he mailed it in, but he didn't. You look at his last year, 2023 in Buffalo, it was pretty much on par with what he was doing. He had 1,180 yards and 107 catches in a regular season, 8 touchdowns. So, when he comes back to Buffalo, it's going to be another notch that he's going to light under his quarterback, because you see him doing a lot of things with May that he tried to do what he actually did with Josh, and I think the middle of the field should be wide open. It doesn't matter who they put there, because you got to have crossers here. You got to have Kincaid. This is a Kincaid game, I think. So I don't know how it would feel if it's the same effect. I just want to see it run differently. So in other words, I want to see, an ascension of Deion Walker. I'm saying, okay, now we see what he couldn't do in week 1 through 3, but he started doing week 4. Now week 5, now okay, we got Ed Oliver back. Okay, now we see, and now I can see. Okay, now Bosa can't stop the run, but guess what? Hoyt's coming back in 2 weeks. Yeah. I can see it now. It's all taking shape. Right now in my mind, it's still like we're a work in progress. Even though I know we're not, I feel like I said in the last show, you build the culture versus you built the culture. And I think they already did it. If you're fluid and you keep working and tinkering, I think it'll be fine. And I think this is a game that will allow you to launch the latitude to, try a couple things. Mm-hmm. Just don't go off the rail with it. Don't go crazy with it.
I mean, they're at home, so they may take a couple of more liberties with that, but well said, bro. I think for me, I'm going with unexpected, and I don't think either one of us was ever going to go with unacceptable. You know what I mean? Because if they win, a win is a win. So it couldn't possibly be unacceptable. But I was using unacceptable as a standard for, I'm just pissed off that this looks the way it does and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And I really thought about that for a second too. Is it going to feel unacceptable? I think this comment here plays into that too. Dangerous. I'm going to say dangerous because it sounds funny. Dangerous says, watching the game live is so frustrating. Watching the game highlights feels better. Yeah. Which, no, I mean, it really is a great point, because the idea of watching how the Bills get these wins, it doesn't feel like you're watching the best team in football play their game and just be dominant and all that kind of stuff. They're doing it in such a methodical, lethargic sort of way where it's like you're that kid, poking a dead rat or something, like, do something. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, move, do something. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what it feels like. What Dinger has said, but they come out with the win, and then it's like, well, how can you deny a win? You know what I'm saying? How can you say a win is bad? But I think I'm landing on unexpected first and foremost, because I expect improvement from the Bills every week. I mean, that's what they preach. That's what they talk about. That's what they tell us. Is the standard, right? So going into a game where the run defense is going to be that much better, and you may not be able to just rest on your laurels of running the ball, the first 2 downs and then passing. You may have to pass a little bit more in this game. And if you do, it could look like it did the first 3 weeks of last season, where you're scoring, 40 points, you know what I'm saying? And just scoring and being able to sit all your starters by the end of the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? But that hasn't been what they've shown this season.
Right.
They've had the opportunity to do that against the Jets. Didn't necessarily do it. They had a chance to do that against the Dolphins, didn't necessarily do that. So it's going to be tough to see another game end up like that, but it would feel more unexpected as opposed to unacceptable. Let me know what you guys think about that. I know we kind of went long just on the answers alone, but
I think, like you said, I think when I watch the game, it's not that I'm pulling my hair out. It's not that I'm worried, because I know they can if they want to. It's just look, they're sleepwalking through everything. Yeah. And that's how I go into the game thinking they're going to sleepwalk. I'm like, they're going to win this game, but they're going to sleepwalk. It's not going to be exciting. James Cook gets 120 yards. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen throws for 2. I'm like, win. I missed it. But it happens. It's just not, it's not that spanking you want to see. You expect to see a spanking out there, and you don't. Right, it fizzles out.
Yep. I like this comment here too. Certified Genius says, Bills defense isn't smash mouth enough to make you feel like they are dominating anyone, even if they are quietly shutting the other team down. Yeah. I mean, that's true, but again, that's by design too. It's by design too. The what's needed for dominant defense, I think smash mouth. Smash mouth is not a bad term, but I think the mentality is what you're getting at when you say smash mouth. And mentality has a lot to do with identity, right? Who are we as a defense? Mm-hmm. And if you're a finesse defense, guess what? Your mentality is going to be finesse, because that's what you're teaching. That's what it's very hard to play a finesse style of defense, but be smash mouth and hard nose at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at this defense, I'm like, okay, they're not finesse, and they're not, because to me, finesse is the speed guys, the quick guys, this, that, and third. So it's like, okay, I'm not stronger than you. I'm gonna beat you because I'm faster, I'm quicker. It's that third.
Well, typically people are saying like this is a smaller, faster defense. That's what they say about the Bills.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. Because you got your linebackers. They're small, but they're not 4.3 SEC guys. These guys are you got your cornerbacks who they can't put their foot in the ground and change direction like no tomorrow. You got safeties who aren't ball hawks. Never mind the Cole Bishop interception. It was sweet as ever. It was a great interception. It looked great, especially for his first one. That's going to go on a poster somewhere in the man cave when he gets 50 years old. Yeah. But, that's not common. Like what you saw with Sanker, he's going to do that again. And again, he had, three plays last week where he did pretty much the same thing and had a highlight reel play. But, for us, it's methodical. I'm careful. I don't want to give anything up. When I hear that finesse, I'm like, man, we gonna give up some big plays, but we're gonna make some too. Yeah. And then when the inverse of it, smash mouth, you're not gonna get there when your star defensive tackle is 6 feet, 280 pounds. Right. You're not gonna get there when your defensive end is a run stuffer that doesn't really show any violence. When your cornerbacks are not hitting anybody. That's the difference. What is your identity going to be? And that's why I keep saying, what is the identity? Because on offense, they don't have an identity. They just have a running back and quarterback. So we all talked about when you took away Diggs and you gave us James Cook, a lot of people were like, what the hell? What's that about? But the ones that knew, Nate, what was Bernard's 40 time? Anyway, the ones that knew.
I said I'm sorry already. Jeez.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but no, the ones that knew, James Cook is like, okay, we got a dog here, but we got to use him.
Right.
But on defense, it's like you said, Deion Walker is probably, but then what? You got a 6'7", 340-pound defensive tackle. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what you bring to the table. And then what? What's behind him? What's the second course? What's my dessert? What's going to rinse my palate off when he's on the sideline? They don't have one.
Right. All right. We are at that point of the show where we are starting to get short on time, and I've purposely saved this conversation for this period of time because I'm really trying to avoid having to get back into certain aspects of this conversation. But Steph Diggs' first game back in Buffalo since he left is going to be probably the main storyline of this game. It was when Micah Parsons went back to Dallas.
For sure.
So your feelings on Steph Diggs scoring a touchdown versus Mac Hollins scoring a touchdown, what would it be different at all? Would it feel the same? Are there aspects of it that appeal more for any particular player? What's your reaction?
All right, let's start by going through what he said in his locker room comments. He said it's going to be a hell of an atmosphere. I was part of it for a long time. I played there before I got there, so I'm excited. I got a lot of respect and a lot of love for that city and the fan base and even the players. I'm going to give them a big hug. You got me excited, but I'm trying not to get overzealous. It's another game, but it's a divisional game more importantly. Now, to combat that, Stephon Diggs had his best games in Buffalo. Stephon Diggs made his mark in Buffalo. Stephon Diggs laid a legacy in Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about 4 1,000-yard seasons, never done before. You're talking about multiple 100-catch seasons, not done before. I already went over what he did before that, but, Dorothy, the playoffs. Dorothy explained this to me. I looked at it. In 2023, when Diggs was in a regular season, most of his targets were in the intermediate. So 10 to 15 or whatever the case may be. Playoffs, they were all 5 and under. Why is that? Why did they change it from what they were doing in the regular season to the postseason? Okay, whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Right.
And people are going to choose to remember him for being the diva that quit on Buffalo. They're going to remember him for, I don't want to be there. I'm concerned. Just in third. None of that's really true. None of it's true. But I choose to remember for the I love you Joshes, that whole thing that started. I choose to remember him for being the Robin that Josh needed when he first got to Buffalo.
Punting the football.
Yeah. I choose to remember the way he was rallying the troops with tears in his eyes when he had a teammate that he didn't know was living or dying. I choose to remember that little haircut he has, only he wears a Theo Huxtable in 2020. But I choose to remember that.
Not anymore now, but
right. You got a kid on the way, you got to change that up. But I choose to remember him at the hospital, not leaving until they let him in. I choose to remember this guy who went to was it in New England or was it in Buffalo? No, it was New England. He was like, you.
Oh yeah, F you,
shut
F
the F up.
F you. You're cool. F you.
I mean, the thing is, he's gonna be extra if he scores in Buffalo. He's gonna go over. He might do it to us. Shut the F up. I told you. I'm back. Cam Newton. Who knows? He might do this. Who knows? But the thing is, I bet you he's gonna be one of the last players off the field after that game. He's gonna shake his hands with everybody. He's gonna talk to everybody. They're gonna show it on TV.
Yeah.
Because he really has a love, and I believe him because he doesn't really lie about Jack. He just don't tell you nothing. So for him to say that, I'm like, okay, cool. But when to answer your question, does it matter? Is Mac wearing his cleats or he's gonna be barefoot?
I mean, he has to wear cleats.
He might have foot painted shoes though. Might
foot painted shoes.
Might have his foot painted shoes.
How you get the spikes on the bottom of those?
It's gonna be cleats. His feet painted on top of the cleat.
Barefoot painted cleats?
Nah, you talking barefoot painted cleats. Copyright that.
Oh my God. What is happening right now? Well, we got freaking
barefoot painted cleats. Yes.
So they have to take a photo of his foot.
And screenshot, screen print it right on the shoe. Yep.
I almost want to see that now.
That'd be crazy.
I almost want to see that now.
Wild.
I think I need to see a barefoot painted shoe.
If he did that and somehow that was a fine, Buffalo needs to pay that fine. They need to pay that fine. The city of Buffalo needs to pay that fine. Pay that man. No, I don't know how many touchdowns Mac Hollins has over there right now, but
let's find out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's do that. But I think Mac Hollins in Buffalo wouldn't be as big as Stephon Diggs, because I think Stephon Diggs went for 101 yards last game. He had 6 catches for 101 yards against Carolina, and make them toe cleats. Yes.
All right. Mac Hollins has 7 receptions for 42 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns across 4 games played.
Because he averaged 10 yards a game. So if he had a touchdown in Buffalo, that would suck. Like, yo, why? Wait till next week to get your 5th one, your 3rd one. No, I think Stephon Diggs would be more enjoyable. And I think it'd be a lot of fun, even though the fans don't want to admit it, to razz him, to heckle him, or whatever the case may be, because he's going to do it right back. But Mac Hollins is going to be a fan favorite. I don't think he has any lost followers from Buffalo now that he's in New England.
For me, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what Steph Diggs does when he scores a touchdown. There's probably going to be a lot of mixed emotions. At that point, when we're playing the game, you're the enemy. So if fans are like, screaming at them and giving them the finger and stuff like that, like, all right, we're in battle right now. It is what it is. Right. You gotta play the mental game, but, I think if Mac Hollins ends up scoring 2 touchdowns on you,
all bets are off at that point.
Right.
And Benford or Trey White, just take him with you.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to feel very different than Steph Diggs going off on you for 2 touchdowns. Mostly because the Patriots pass offense has not been that great. When you watch these guys on tape, and we were just doing some film study last night. I mean, the Butte, some of the routes he runs are just lazy. You know what I'm saying? So there's not even a lot of discipline in that locker room outside of Steph Diggs and Mac Hollins. But if Mac Hollins is not getting the ball and Steph Diggs is not really getting the ball that much, Hunter Henry's their leading pass catcher right now.
The 2 tight ends, I think.
Yeah. So and a lot of that has to do with the offensive coordinator. I mean, that's what Josh McDaniels is at this point, right? I do think there's going to be some wrinkles in this game, but I mean, again, for just to kind of cap the conversation about Steph Diggs and Steph Diggs and Mac Hollins. I mean, this game feels like it feels more like those players are going to be used against us in the most emotional way possible. You know what I'm saying? Like they might target Steph Diggs heavily in this game just to poke at the Bills players, emotionally all game long. Like, oh, we that's our guy, man. We don't want to tackle him. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes off for 150 yards.
Right.
Not saying that's gonna happen, but I'm just saying it seems like one of those mental things that will definitely come up in this game, especially with how tight everybody was with Diggs in that building.
Yes, Spin. Yes, that's true. Nate, wouldn't be shocked if Steph Diggs dumped into the stands. I mean, it depends. Okay, Dangerous. Danny, he said to competitors, so he's going to have the adrenaline pumping. Shakira was on the St. Brown podcast and talked about how impressive Diggs' work ethic was and competitiveness is. Yes, oh yeah, for sure.
So I need to state this publicly real quick. We can call Daniel Schmitty or Daniel, but I from what I understand, Danny is off limits. So just to make that clear, because I don't want my guy having to fight people off here.
I don't want no eye jammies.
Right. Not saying that he's gonna pull a pitchfork out or anything like that, but I just I like to keep things professional as much as possible. Let me see. You got it, bro. Zoomer says, is Diggs going to look at Josh freaky like he did in Houston?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's all part of the mind game.
Exactly. So all right. So next order of business. That actually went a lot faster than I thought it would.
Order of business it is.
Yeah. Next order of business is let's start getting into scheme stuff and what we see working for the Bills versus, and we've already mentioned the run game, so we don't have to rehash that, but outside of the Patriots having a tough run defense, is there anything else that you see, specifically on tape for you that like gives you pause in this game?
For the Patriots, well, they're getting Gonzalez back, so I don't know what that's going to do. But I'm not worried about it. I think,
was he out all season or did he go?
I think this is his first game back.
Okay.
It's gonna rest on Coleman. It's gonna rest on Kincaid. It's gonna rest on Knox. I don't know what Palmer's even gonna do. I really don't know what he's gonna do. Shakir is gonna be somebody they're gonna target, in the passing game because they know that's our go-to.
Yeah.
I think Knox is becoming Kincaid is becoming the go-to, but I think you need to attack the middle of the field because their linebackers are great against the run. If you can play action, they're looking for the run anyway because we've shown it the previous 4 weeks. So if you show run, suck them in on the play action, throw over the top, touchdown.
Okay. Lynn says, so does CB1 shade Diggs or is it cover your side of the field? I think it's always been cover your side of the field for the Bills. I can't see them shading Diggs. I mean, the other thing too is this, and I think this is probably the biggest thing going into this game. Are we going to see the Patriots' biggest effort? Yes, we are going to get their absolute best punch. But here's the issue with this team that I think needs to be acknowledged. To kind of correctly categorize what we've seen from them. This is year 1 of this offense for them, right? And more specifically, it is what week, if we're including the preseason, this is week 8 of this offense for this team, of actually getting out and executing the plays and knowing the plays and being able to, audible on these plays and make adjustments according to coverage and all that kind of stuff. That makes a big difference, right? Especially when you're going against a team like the Bills. So the one thing that I think we will definitely see is they're not going to get very complicated in the pass game. I think there he is. They're not going to get complicated in the pass game. I think it's more a matter of keeping things simple, so that they can just go out, execute, and play fast, right? That's the way that you, I guess, kind of simplify the job of your team when they're in year 1 of learning an offense, especially when you have a young quarterback, right? Because the other part of this is your young quarterback knew a completely different offense last season, and now he's got to come in this season and learn what is typically known to be a little bit more of a complex offense under Josh McDaniel in just his second year in the NFL, right? That is not ideal for a young quarterback. We'll see if Drake May can handle it against, whatever we're going to do to him. But the fact that he can process fast enough to get the ball out quick enough, the way that he's been doing all season long so far, and the ways that we know Josh McDaniels can scheme up the quick pass, I think it's really going to the X factor, so to speak, is probably going to come down to linebacker play.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was going to say, I think offensively, Philly Bills, who's asked me on today? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, let's give that a shout out.
There you go. I'm mad he asked that with 20 minutes left in the show. It's like,
right.
We were on a couple of people. Honestly, we were on a couple of fans. We were on a couple of podcasts. We were on a couple of people. It was an interesting thing, but no.
Yeah.
I think you
at least Vu showed up, right?
Yeah.
At least Vu showed up.
But I think honestly, I think what it is the left side of the line is bad. So Bosa should be able to get home. We should see a couple of sacks because Will Campbell and what's this guy's name? Jarrett Wilson, I think his name is. Look at Jarrett Wilson. They're ranked pretty bad in the PFF. I know the rankings are terrible, but it doesn't matter. That side of the line is porous, and that's Bosa's side. So Bosa and Daquan Jones,
TJ Watt was getting off on him last week too. Yeah.
So Bosa and Deion Walker might do it. I think if you're looking at our side, they won't. But I wish that our defense would come up in the zone a little bit, because especially if Milano is still fighting the peck or whatever it is he's fighting, you got to give Drake Man you got to give him pause. You gotta give me a second to think about what am I really seeing.
Right.
And that's what McDermott's defense is always lack. They lack the pre-snap. You know, I remember when he first came, they're talking about, oh, they're still moving. No, I don't care about that. And who was it that asked about corner the CB1? No, they're not going to do that because CB1 isn't much better than CB2. No, it was. I can find it. You commented on it, but I didn't say anything until. But anyway, no, I CB1 usually only travels with the wide receiver when you have Patrick Surtain and you're going against Justin Jefferson or somebody like that. You know, when you have only one guy that can guard their one guy, and you play man usually. And the Bills corner. Oh, there it is right there, Len. The Bills don't have a cornerback one that can just do all things against anybody.
Yeah.
So they're gonna let them stay on their side, stay confident, stay comfortable, and maybe make a play against whoever lines up against them. Maybe it's Matt Collins, maybe it's Keyshawn Boot. Who knows?
Yeah. See, Schmitty says they're going to run twice as much as they will pass. It's a Vrabel team. The one good thing about that is all of their running backs have had Butterfingers this year, so maybe Bosa keeps that stat going for his fumbles. Yeah. I mean, so the one thing that I think is going to be deceptively good for the Bills in this game is, how can I say, I think it's going to be their ability to contain the run, not stop the run, the ability to contain the run, right? Because the offensive line of the Patriots is, like, as you pointed out, it's not great, right? So for as much as we've seen Ramondre Stevenson have some big games against us, and you know, we still have yet to see Travion Henderson, this does not feel like one of those games where they're just going to come in here and there's not going to be much the Bills can do to stop their offense, right? Mm-hmm. I think what we've seen the Bills do in blitzing the run is what they're going to have to do all season long to offset some of the deficiencies, personnel wise. But in this game in particular, it could end up being a situation where the Bills don't need to do that, right? You know, so I mean, the temptation is right now is that I'm trying to fight off is saying that this is going to be a blowout because in a lot of ways it should be, but then at the same time, in a lot of ways it might not be. And I gotta say, based on what I'm seeing on tape right now, I don't think it will be close. I think we are probably more likely to see what we saw in the Jets game than what we did in the Dolphins game. Just based solely off of what I've seen happen with Drake May, right? We're seeing him, and we showed this in the film study last night. He's staring receivers down, and I saw a lot of that in some of the film that I watched of him this week. Mm-hmm. And that usually happens when A, you're in the first year of an offense, and B, you're trying to show a mastery of offense that you don't have just yet, right? Because in the play that I showed last night, he was going to a flag route against zone coverage, but he locked onto that partially because he, based on the read, he knew that was going to be open, and he was right, but Henry fell, and then the other part of that was TJ Watt was on his tail, right? So the alternative, the hot at that point would have been his underneath route that he had, which was probably, 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, but he was wide open, right? By the time he gets the ball, maybe he can make somebody move and get 3 or 4 more yards, but that's what you got to take as opposed to staring a guy down. I don't think the Bills are going to give him the space to find the open guy like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the hope anyway.
Yeah, hit the horn. We got a super chat, and I'm gonna pay for it.
Oh,
yeah.
Stay with me now.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Billy D, you have no idea how much joy you just put in Keith right now.
Did you see what Nate wrote? He said, one thing I'm hoping for is refs call illegal contact on Boutte. Who thinks of this stuff? He said maybe an illegal touch. Really?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
For people that don't know, his name really is Butte. So boot whatever. But yeah, it's Boutte. So you take it however you want. Nate is being crazy right now.
Nate is on fire though.
My mom probably, what the hell are they talking about?
Right.
That's stay with me now.
Right.
Stay with me now. That's his name.
Oh my gosh. All right. So anything else about this game on offense that you see for the Patriots, I mean, going against our defense?
Patriots offense, we've missed 31 tackles so far.
Okay.
Do I have to say anything else about that? They got to clean that up. I mean, that's almost, it was at 8 missed tackles a game. The last two they had over 11 last week and 12 the week before that. That just can't happen. You got to clean that up. I mean, we're worried about the defense stopping the run. We're worried about the schemes. But this kind of stuff, this is going to stop you from beating Philly. This is going to stop you from beating KC. Because you have them dead to right, the palm of your hands.
Yeah.
And you can't bring them down. Like I said, 4.4 yards after first contact. Can't happen.
Yeah.
That's insane. I said, let me read that again. What did I just say? Because if you know anything about it, what that is, honestly, what I think that is, and this is where I'm going to get crucified here. But if you watch the tape back and you watch Deion Walker, you watch TJ Sanders, what do you usually see them doing in runs? They're getting moved out, so they reach out and try to grab the guy. That counts as the contact. It's not a good grab, but they're not in position. So that's where I say, I'm good with that. I'm good with young guys making mistakes. I'm good with young guys filling themselves up. But when you have an old team like we have, that can't happen. Trey White's 30 years old. Your Taylor Rapp is 27. You got your linebacker, Milano's 30, going and so on and so forth. These are the mistakes you got to clean up. But I think for our defense, clean up the tackles, make Drake May a second-year quarterback, if you know what I mean. Like CJ what's his name? The guy over in Houston. CJ, the quarterback.
Oh, CJ Stroud.
Stroud. Yeah, CJ Stroud in his second year. I mean, after his first year, revelation. Second year, dog mess. So it's
they fired his offensive coordinator.
They did do that, but still, they thought this guy was gonna walk on water. Diggs gets there. Oh, he's doing it again. Diggs gets hurt. Tank Dell gets hurt. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
So make Drake May wish he wasn't playing Buffalo on rivalry night. Take away their top guy, make one of the Butterfingers that Schmitty referenced. So wide receivers, make them do stuff.
Right.
Make the running backs do stuff. See if you can get them in Bosa's line of sight. You can do a peanut punch, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I did notice defensively, I forgot to mention this. The Patriots have gone to more of a 5-2 look. And then from a 5-2, they switched to a 4-3. So they've been more of a hybrid defense recently, which is kind of surprising because a lot of the defenses that Vrabel has had, not saying that he's kind of orchestrated any of the defenses specifically, but every time he's been a head coach that I've seen or a coordinator, it's been odd front. Mm-hmm. Right. But to see what they're doing with a base formation, and it's a nickel base formation. So they'll do a 4-3 look, but they'll have a corner in there lined up as the strong side linebacker. Right. They did some of that last week against the who was it? The Steelers they played? No, the Panthers. I'm sorry. Yeah, mm-hmm. they did. Yep. They had that look against the Panthers. So they do present some different things. What makes me a little nervous defensively in terms of the looks is that 5-2 look that they give, where they've got the three tight defensive linemen in the middle, and then the two pass rushing linebackers lined up out wide. So it looks like a wide 9 just in a 5-2 formation. Mm-hmm. And what's the kid's name? Kaylavon Chazon. Mm-hmm. He looks like he's taking a step up as a pass rusher. He's always been good. He's like Odafe Yowe. You can't let him start. He's not a full-time pass rusher.
but he's that guy, like, LSU guy, that can get to the quarterback easily if you have him complimenting somebody that's greater, because his strong suit is he should have been a Bill because he can't defend the run either. But yeah, I would have loved to have him here when he went to New England.
Yeah. Yep. So coupled with him and what's weird is Chazon, I guess in the Panthers game anyway. I watched the Panthers game and then I watched the Steelers game as well. And in both of those games, you can see Chazon popping off the tape.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really notice Landry that much,
mm-hmm.
and Landry is playing on the same side that Bosa plays.
Right.
So, if Brown is back, is Brown is back, right? If I'm not mistaken, or is he
not
still
sure?
out?
Not sure. I think he's practicing, but I don't know if he's going to play.
Okay.
I don't think he said anything yet.
Okay. So if Brown is not back, that could create some issues because now you're kind of behind the sticks and from a talent standpoint at right tackle, going up against Landry, and you're already going to need your best performance from Dawkins going against Chazon this week, and that's not even including Milton Williams and Christian Barmore in the middle there. You know what I mean? So this is probably going to be one of the more challenging defensive lines for the Bills to go against. And I do think it's important to note that, this is going to have to be a game where Josh Allen takes over with the quick passing game, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. And Roy did say Gonzalez did play last week, so this will be a second game back.
Okay. And now, so Gonzalez didn't play at all until last week, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. He had 3 tackles, three targets, 2 receptions against for, I think, 35 yards, something like that.
Okay, I'll have to go look at the tape tonight and see how he. I mean, I know he's a good man corner, and they do play a lot of man. That's the. So here's one of the things that Damaris brought out last night, and I want to get your thoughts on this. He pointed out that Josh's level of play now forces a defense to have to play zone because they have to keep eyes on Josh at all times, because the second you play man coverage, he's going to take off, right? I also think that works for the benefit of the receivers as well, because a guy who is mostly a man corner in Christian Gonzalez, I don't want him locking my guys up. I don't even want to really take the chance on having to depend on either of my receivers trying to, break open from that guy. Like he's that good of a corner, right? Mm-hmm. But do you think that in this game, Josh's level of play will force the Patriots, in year one of this defense, to have to switch over and play, mostly zone this game?
If they do us to win, because their cornerbacks are horrible at zone. Mm-hmm. So I would hope so. I don't think they will, just because they know they're horrible at zone.
Yeah.
They'll probably try to mask it some other way. Maybe they could run a spy. They could do all sorts of stuff to try to keep Josh at bay. Like you said, Chazon, he's perfect, long, fast.
Yep.
But I think if they do flip the zone, which they really don't play a ton of, we won. I mean, I feel like we won anyway. But anytime you do that to us, because think about it, it's not even Josh. The zone with Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman knows how to find open space. Khalil Shakir knows how to find open space. Dalton Kincaid can run a play. Yeah. He can't find open space, but he can run a play. Improvisation is his issue. If they put Knox on the field, he finds open spots. So this is like after a drive or two where they're like, okay, we got to switch over because Josh is taking off. Cats game, we won it. It's like, when you sit there and it tic-tac-toe and you get the two-way win and you're sitting like, just put the thing wherever you're going to do it. I got you. Just put it down. I got you. And I think that's what makes the Bills offense great, because even though it looks boring and it's not exciting and it's not high flying, every game is that two-way win.
Yeah. Let's get to these couple of comments from Daquan. Says the Bills defense is like a scorpion. We can use the left pincher, the right pincher, the tail sting, or the bite. That I think is absolutely accurate. Most of the national media people who study the Bills say this is a team that can win a lot of different ways. And that's going to be extremely valuable going into the playoffs. What I think I would like to see by the end of the season is the Bills being able to win with just the pass, right? Because we've seen now, 3 weeks in a row that the Bills can win games just off the run game alone.
Yep.
Like they don't need to pass that much. But I still want the pass game to be a well-oiled machine no matter what.
Yeah, I just want the post-podium media room, I guess we'll call our guys. I don't know. I want them to have Cooks back when we go away from the run. Because we don't want Cook running 360 times this year. We don't want him touching the ball that much. Can he? Yes. Don't need it. When it starts to diminish and he must be slowing down. The luster of that contract must have worked. No.
The luster of the contract.
Well,
he ran out of money.
Right, he ran out of money. But Josh has got $330 million. What?
Exactly.
We got to use him too.
Right. Everybody on this team gets paid.
Everybody gets paid, and they need to use it. But yeah, I think that's the gotcha. If we win with the run, everybody's going to be. Oh, I knew because our wide receivers suck. We told you get better wide receivers, get better this. Josh said that.
Yeah.
If we pass the ball, I told you it wasn't worth the money. I told you they're waiting in the wings for this to happen. I told you it wasn't worth it. What are you guys doing? When are you gonna listen to me? But I mean, it's a double-edged sword. However it goes, they called Daquan a rah-rah fan, probably Dan Mitchell. No,
I think it's because of this comment.
I know.
Daquan says, "I have zero worries about the Patriots. Our defense will respond from last week, and Josh made it clear that any drive that stalls is a failure. He will make an example out of this team. Period. 46-13.
Boom.
If they do it, great. I will take a 46-13 game. I think we've needed one all season long just to prove that we can do it. Let me see here. Dangerous says he's probably Dan Mitchell in disguise. I want to get to this one. See, here we go. No matter what I say. Albert Scott, you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Albert says, no, don't pass too much. Josh Allen is leading MVP because he has no interceptions. Damn all of that. Damn all of that. No, I mean, in all seriousness, think about it like this. Tom Brady was not winning the MVP every season. Right. His stats weren't all that at all, but what he was winning was Super Bowls and Super Bowl MVPs. I'd rather have that and Josh throw for 16 interceptions every season as opposed to Josh winning 5 MVPs 5 seasons in a row and doing things the way that he's doing it now with no Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that every single season has to be no Super Bowl, but last year was, and he won an MVP. I don't want that MVP if it means we don't win the Super Bowl. We were 1 game away.
I don't want another MVP because he only got the okay. This is my final thought, and I got to get out of here. But I don't want him to get another MVP because he got the MVP last year. Why? Because he did the most with less.
Right.
Put that in that little box. Toss that mofo in the ocean. Because if I have to do the most with less, I don't want to see another MVP in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I want to see the Lombardi. I want to go downtown to City Hall, Lafayette Square, wherever they're going to do this thing, and just take my shirt off and wave it around my head like a helicopter. I won't do that. I'm self-conscious, but you get what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh. You know what Albert could use, man?
Actually, you know what though?
What?
Maybe, just maybe, if I had some Ree's tea, I would take my shirt off and whip it on my head like a helicopter. I might.
Because you can spike it too. You ain't got to take it straight up.
Yeah, Petey Pablo style. But that Ree's tea I'm talking about is 1 part refreshing, 1 part delicious, 2 parts healthy. That's what you can expect when there are only 4. Count them 4 ingredients. I don't even drink tea, but let me tell you, that's a good drink there. What are you doing? Head over to Ree's. Get yourself a supply of the case or individual. Why should you do that? Get the case. You won't be disappointed. What do I know? See for yourself. Ree's tea. Click the link in the description below and use the code PPP and let them know who sent you.
Yep, that's it. All right, let it breathe. So if you're hearing that music, that means we got to get up out of here real quick. For those of you that don't know Coach D, he is in the building right now. Thank you very much for popping into the chat. Coach D says Josh is not throwing picks because he's figured out how to make the play work at the lowest risk for turnovers. That means you can let him throw 30, 40 times a game. You can let him do it. right? I gotta take a swig really quick. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. Okay. So. Oh, yep. There you go. We are on shelves at Delta Sonic. I think they're going for $3.99 a bottle right now.
Okay.
I can't talk that loud anymore. My voice is going.
Uh-oh.
All right. Anyway, with that being said, we got to get out of here. Key's got to get out of here. I got to make this happen quickly. So if you have not done so already, please like, subscribe, hit that bell, make that thing so that you can get notifications when we send notifications. Like, y'all got to get the votes in on this what are we calling this?
Oh,
Key's games.
Yeah. Key watches football.
Key watches football. You got to get your votes in. We have one vote for the Jaguars Chiefs game, but we need to hear from more than just one person, right?
That's right.
So definitely get that in. You can put that in the comments. You can hit us on social media and DM us and get that in there and let us know. You can email us that as well. All of those links are in the description of this video. Get in contact with us. Other than that, it's been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the All Truth, No Sodium Takes. I've been your co-host, Aramis.
For the Keys. Have a good one, y'all.
All right, y'all have a great night. Peace.